front and back. Come closer, front and back. Come front and back. Like a nice happy picture. Yeah, why? Oh my god. I was a little conscious to tell you to do that, but I'm so happy you did that. Come please. Yeah, I know. Most agile. Come closer, please come closer. Come ahead. Sudhir, come ahead. Come. Are you getting anyone? Dr. Pawar, you can come ahead. Come closer, guys. Please come closer. So you'll get a perfect picture for Instagram. Yeah. Sudhir, can I request you to come ahead, please?
We have with us Dr. Samir, Dalwai, Development Pediatrician and Senior Member of the Indian Academy of Pediatrics. Dr. Samir is a pioneer in development and behavior pediatrics with extensive experience in infectious disease treatment and child health. Guiding today's discussion is Dr. Amit Gambhir, Senior Technical Officer, Vector-Borne Diseases, Center of Health Research and Innovation. Dr. Amit Gambhir is a public health expert with over 20 years of experience, specializing in disease surveillance. Over the next few minutes, our esteemed panel will explore the...
Good morning everyone, and once again a warm welcome to you all. Thank you panelists for taking out time. So thank you all for joining us for this panel discussion and this event where we will shortly witness the unveiling of a scientific breakthrough by India. Today the theme of the panel discussion, which Mitchell has just informed us, it's power of public-private partnership and innovations in the household insecticide category to eliminate mosquito-borne diseases in the country. So looking forward to a great start with Mr. Sudhir Sitapati, my dear friend Dr. Radhakishan Pawar and Dr. Samir Dalwai. Let us delve directly into the topic and let's start with Dr. Pawar sir. Over to you.
Emerging diseases. Just in Pune, Zika virus is emerging. Lot of the cases are arriving.
Right.
And the overall burden of the mosquito-borne diseases are in urban and rural area increasing. Public Health Department of Maharashtra, there is dedicated bureau, and I am heading this bureau as a joint director, vector-borne diseases. And we have infrastructure in terms of manpower and also our health centers up to the village level. On the top to village level. At village level, there is a, for 1,000 population, there is a ASHA, social activist, who looks after that 1,000 population. At sub-center level, there is a community health officer. At PHC level, there is a primary health center medical officer. And routine surveillance is going on regarding the mosquito-borne infections, early detection, prompt treatment, and mainly awareness in the schools, in villages, in local panchayat, to ashas, local PRI members. And basically in the pre-monsoon season, monsoon season and post-monsoon season, there are seasonal trend is also there. In urban area also there is a lot of problem due to the construction sites and that. The Public Health Department, with the help of the local bodies, we are trying to prevent this mosquito-borne infection, but there are more challenges. That is the main reason we are not keeping in control of all these diseases.
Very true, sir. Very rightly said. Despite all these challenges, the Public Health Department and Government of Maharashtra is really tackling very well with these three themes: education, awareness, followed by prevention and treatment, early diagnosis and early treatment. Continuing further, I would like to talk to Dr. Samir. Dr. Samir, do you agree that these mosquito-borne diseases are now happening throughout the year? What is its implication on public health strategies now?
Yeah, so good morning everybody. You are absolutely right, because sir did say earlier it was seasonal, but now society and community has changed so much that the vector-borne diseases and the habits of the vectors as well, the habitat is changing. As he said rightly, in the street where I stay in Mumbai, almost every building on that street is undergoing redevelopment. Plus, as you see every time, the infrastructure. So there is so much space and so much of a change of habitat for mosquitoes of different kinds to keep breeding, and it's actually now throughout the year. So we see parents come with the symptoms of malaria or dengue, and the medical community, and I'm from the Indian Academy of Pediatrics as a doctor myself, all of us are more focused on the medication part and the treatment part, because once the child comes in with an illness, especially now with dengue, as you can see, it's very often, quite often it's also a life-threatening illness. So we are all concerned about the right management, what are the fluids to be given, what are the anti-malarial medications for malaria, so on and so forth. I think the better part would be, prevention is always better than cure. But the amount of the change in the environment that is causing an increase in the vector-borne diseases, I don't think we should only look at the medical part of treating it. I think it's also the public health and the social part that's very important.
Very right, very right. It is not just the urbanization now. It was earlier thought that dengue and malaria only happens in the urban area, but now it is going to rural, and we have seen a big trend of increase in these diseases in the rural areas as well. So thank you, Dr. Samir. Coming to the department, it's the work of like Swasth Vibhag. So it's not like that. Now we are working hand in hand, and public-private partnerships are really working. So to make India malaria-free, which is the goal by 2030, how can the government and private companies come together for this, Sudhir?
So, as GCPL is the largest player in India in household insecticide, and in fact, the second largest player in the world, because we have businesses across the world in household insecticide. In India, what we have done in public-private partnership is about 50% of our CSR budgets we have earmarked for supporting malaria and dengue fight campaigns. So, wherever the governments of various states require assistance, because typically outbreaks tend to be localized in districts, we intervene immediately. Last year we spent about 15 crores. Over the last 7 years, we have contacted 17 million households with the help of the government in educating them on not keeping stagnant water, on using the right products, on the correct hygiene and health habits. Whenever government requests for trainings for their doctors, for Anganwadi workers, etc., we immediately come in and support it, because often some of these things are not budgeted or unbudgeted in governments for the year. So we see ourselves as a body that uses our CSR money to supplement government efforts when there is quick action required and easy budget release is not there, etc., we can move in to help the government. So that is our only role, to help government efforts in eradication of malaria and dengue.
Today the theme of the panel discussion, which Mitchell has just informed us, it's power of public-private partnership and innovations in the household insecticide category to eliminate mosquito-borne diseases in the country. So looking forward to a great start with Mr. Sudhir Sitapati, my dear friend Dr. Radhakishan Pawar and Dr. Samir Dalwai. Let us delve directly into the topic, and let's start with Dr. Pawar sir. Over to you. Sir, mosquito-borne diseases now pose a year-round threat. Earlier we used to see only when the monsoon comes we see the rise. Now it is a year-round threat. So what strategies is the government employing to raise awareness and enhance prevention efforts throughout the year, sir?
As you said rightly, mosquito-borne diseases in urban and rural area are increasing. Public Health Department of Maharashtra, there is dedicated bureau, and I am heading this bureau as a joint director, vector-borne diseases. And we have infrastructure in terms of manpower, and also our health centers up to the village level. On the top to village level, at village level there is a per 1,000 population there is a ASHA, social activist, who looks after that 1,000 population. At sub-center level there is a community health officer. At PH level there is a primary health center medical officer, and routine surveillance is going on regarding.
It is seen that if there is some disease, it's the work of public health department, it's the work of like Swasth Vibhag. So it's not like that. Now we are working hand in hand, and public-private partnerships are really working. So to make India malaria-free, which is the goal by 2030, how can the government and private companies come together for this, Sudhir?
So, as GCPL is the largest player in India in household insecticide, and in fact, the second largest player in the world, because we have businesses across the world in household insecticide. In India, what we have done in public-private partnership is about 50% of our CSR budgets we have earmarked for supporting malaria and dengue.
Things and miscellaneous things which are not covered, and when there is such support from the partner and through this public-private partnerships, suppose any training comes up for like clinical manifestation management of dengue and malaria for new medical officers, or for some training of lab scientific officers which comes up. So through this public-private partnerships and taking up speakers from ICMR and from reputed institute for training and capacity sensitization for these kind of capacity building.
Change is needed to improve the efficacy and action, whether in terms of faster rate or in terms of speed in which the mosquito gets sensory affected and dies. So, what are the steps taken by Godrej Consumer Products forward this?
Yeah, I think the point is right. The molecule, you must do molecules. So every decade or so, you have to keep upgrading the molecule. In the past, when we have upgraded molecules, we have bought molecules from Japan and developed countries into India. What we are doing today, which I'll also talk about a little later, is an indigenously developed molecule. It's quite rare because India does a lot of bulk drugs where somebody else has got the patent and we manufacture in India. But this time what we have done with Renoflu, three reasons. One is it is that time when we feel that it is time to upgrade from the earlier molecule to the new molecule, and we're taking the step. And secondly, to do it with a molecule indigenously developed in India is certainly quite rare in both the pharma and this whole insecticide test.
Very culture specific. The kind of habits that we have that lead to indirectly or directly influence the breeding of vectors may not be the same in the United States, for example. At the same time, parents are always concerned about what they use. I have seen doctors being questioned every time they write a particular medicine. Nobody thinks twice before what they are putting up in the house or whatever they are burning to drive away the mosquitoes. But a big segment of parents now, I can tell you, Mr. Sitapati as well, are now concerned what are they consuming inside their households, because they have a child who's coughing, they have a child who has allergies, so they are concerned about even a long-term effect on the overall health. And though we are concerned about the air pollution outside and we are always screaming about the traffic, what about the air inside the house? So it's very important to have a molecule which is safe. That's the first thing parents are going to ask me as a pediatrician. Efficacious, which is obviously going to prevent the malaria. On that, and I suggest that we must continue having India-based, India-developed products for our people. So thank you on that.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Samir. And really agree with you. It's not the cause; it's about the effects and the
that we're going to go to consumers with. And I was talking to Dr. Pawar, because in rural India, one of the big issues is rural electrification is universal, but rural electricity is not universal because you have power shortages. So our proposition for this product is 2 hours after the electricity goes off, it still continues to work, and that is what we have tested in our laboratories, and that's what we're marketing. Even if the electricity is not there, you have 2 more hours of protection after you turn it on.
Wonderful, wonderful. Dr. Pawar, your views on this molecule, sir?
Definitely, mosquito-borne diseases are transmitted by that is direct bite of the mosquito. So that is the most preventive method we can adapt to prevent the bite by using this repellent. As sir already said, this is safe, effective. Also, effect is after 2 hours of the even electricity not there. In rural area, that will be the appropriate technology, because this will be definitely helpful for the prevention of the mosquito-borne diseases. And really thankful to Sir Godrej for innovating this product from the Public Health Department.
Completely agree with you. A blockbuster molecule it could be, because it has after effects as well, and it is 2 times faster and safe as well. So thank you, Dr. Pawar. And
to promote indigenous research, what works best for our people, what is safest for our people. I think just importing things which may be from countries which are giving us something which is probably cheaper or something, if the safety profile is not treated, I am very uncomfortable prescribing it for my patients, because at the end of the day I will be responsible for it. So I think considering the safety profile, I would be very happy with this molecule.
Glad to hear from all of you. So we do fever surveillance, we get to have active surveillance, passive surveillance, the blood tests are done, RDK, blood smear collections from which we come to know about this positive dengue and malaria cases. But at the same time, for preventive measures, these mosquito repellents play a very, very important role in our day-to-day life. And yes, this indigenously developed molecule, revolutionize, would look forward for this molecule. And thank you for this discussion. It has been a great discussion. And over to you, Michelle, please.
Everyone in this room is going to pledge that we have to be malaria free by 2030. Thank you very much. Sudhir, I'll request you to stay up on stage. You nudged and spoke about the breakthrough innovation revolutionize. Could you please take us through a detailed presentation of what this formulation is all about?
Sure. Is there a click? In the London School of Tropical Medicine, which is at the forefront of fighting vector-borne diseases, and the kind of number of scientists working on vector-borne diseases amazed me, the technologies they're working on. But one number stood out. They said that dengue, globally, they believe 300 million cases of dengue happen in a year. India alone has 30 million cases. Now, our official statistics are 300,000 cases, which means that the undetected cases, like in the case of many viruses, is 100 times what it actually is. That's the kind of prevalence, and dengue is life-threatening. So mosquitoes provide, all sorts of illnesses that come, and mosquitoes are a particularly dangerous insect for the human species. So I spoke to you about dengue. 300,000 cases is what is detected. This is growing, but you have to multiply this number by between 50 and 100 depending on who you ask. But it is certainly not 300,000 is not the prevalence of dengue. So you can just imagine how many people are getting dengue in a year. I think Goodnight as a brand has been at the forefront of fighting vector-borne diseases in India over the last several decades. Godrej itself is a 127-year-old company, and we pride ourselves in innovative products. That is at the heart of our DNA, and Goodnight is one of our biggest brands in Godrej.
Let me tell you the story of a brand that changed the picture of Indian homes forever. The story of a battle between the good and the bad that started.
We see a lot of jump in our market shares and the adoption of the household insecticide category. In fact, the biggest jump happened when we changed the molecule almost 15 years ago or 12 years ago. Was a blast molecule change, and the brand did extremely well.
Seeing is believing. I would request now our scientists from the R&D team to show us a demonstration of a live demo of the
Come ahead. Sudhir, come ahead. Come. Are you getting everyone? Dr. Pawar, you can come ahead.